ATM's SASSA grant ATM transaction being restored now, but full restoration of in-shop transactions still underway. And that's inside various retailers across the country. Social grant beneficiaries were unable to withdraw funds since yesterday. In November 2022 and again in January this year, beneficiaries couldn't access their money due to technical problems. Postbank's spokesperson Bongani Diako joins us now to discuss this situation. Bongani, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Firstly, have now the transactions been fully restored across the country, or are there still some of those retailers, as I've just said in the intro there, who are still battling?
Yeah, no, good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to the listeners at home. The ATMs are fully restored then to 100% performance. The post office branches as well performing at full capacity. The last we checked, which is a few minutes ago, Braden, the retailers were at 70-80% transaction success rate, which is still not optimal, Braden, but the bulk of our beneficiaries really do use ATMs for transactions, so they crisscross across the three available channels.
What's causing the lag of the 20% or so of the retailers? What are they battling with?
Well, Braden, the problem is on our end. The challenge is on our end. Postbank is currently implementing a large-scale IT modernization program where we are migrating Braden from the post office data center into a new data center, a new environment that is compliant and should be on par with the industry to resolve exactly what you opened up with, that in December last year and around beginning of the year, we had experienced system failures. So we have migrated into the new environment within this month. We've asked our IT teams to really dig into the root cause of the problem as to whether the migration hasn't got anything to do with the current challenges, Braden. But the good news is we are fully functional now across ATMs, and we are expecting we will be back within the retail stores.
Okay, so the ATMs are fully functional, but some retail stores, 20% or so of them this afternoon, are still not there yet, and you are hoping for full restoration in the next few hours. Now, just to understand, what you are suggesting in your answer that what has caused this latest glitch is because you are modernizing your systems. You are migrating from one system to another. There could be issues there of glitches. And many people would say, yeah, it's normal during migration, big migrations like yours, those glitches could happen. But what caused the glitches in January and December? Was it something different?
Yeah, Braden, it could be related to the migration, and as I said, we've asked our teams to really come up with the facts.
So you don't know as we speak what caused the glitch this time around?
Certainly, there is something that is under investigation, and we will definitely share it with platforms like you, Braden, because as you know, the payments of social grants is a matter of public interest, and anything that we do, we play open cards with the public. Now, going back to the question of December, Braden, we had, as a result of a cyber attack that we were experiencing, we had to migrate the payments of the ATMs into the retailers and the post office branches, while we putting measures to make our protection around that environment more robust. We've succeeded in doing that, Braden, and if you look at the time lag between now and the period you've referred to when we had issues, then that pretty much says from February onwards up until now, we haven't had any incidents in relation to the payments because we had stabilized, we had moved into a more stable and robust environment. But then we are now moving out of the post office data center from where we've been operating and from where we had identified our systems had been vulnerable, moving into a more compliant environment, which is the migration I'm referring to that we have just undertaken during this month, which we suspect quite significantly as perhaps having a contributory factor to the challenges we are experiencing.
No, thanks for explaining, but you've had a different set of technical challenges. You've mentioned the importance of SASSA grant payments, and I've got millions of people rely on them every month. Can you guarantee, as we speak, Bongani, that similar occurrences won't happen in future? You're modernizing, you're migrating, you've built some robustness into the system, and that such incidents won't happen again, because it's a huge inconvenience.
No, certainly, Braden, it's a huge inconvenience. And with us now being back up, Braden would really be short-charging the public in terms of the message that has to go through this platform if we don't touch on the fact that there is still a little bit of a backlog in relation to reversals of funds into accounts of beneficiaries that attempted transactions yesterday. Our teams have given us the assurance that the funds will be reversed in the next 24 hours, meaning tomorrow by midday going onwards, all those beneficiaries that experienced failed transactions yesterday would be able to access the money. Now, banking or any systems, when you're playing in the systems environment, Braden, you're working with probabilities of success. And with the new system that we have moved into, because it's on par with what the entire industry is using, we are operating within the threshold of probabilities of limited failures in future. So the inconvenience, Braden, which we regret, we have made our social grant customers go through, we anticipate it will be an issue of the past going forward.
When are you anticipating to conclude this modernization, this migration you're busy with?
Braden, we are under tight timelines as the industry, the Reserve Bank has asked us for some time to migrate into this new environment. The timelines are in line with our card replacement program, which we anticipate concluding by December this year. It's work in progress by then, but before December, by the time we start issuing the cards in the next month, we should have completed this process of migration.
Yeah, Bongani, very briefly, if you may conclude, just to recap. So as we speak, as from now, things are okay. People can withdraw money from ATMs, and not all the retailers are back on stream. About 20% or so are still battling. And as from tomorrow, the reversals will also have been dealt with. So people who did not withdraw yesterday will be able tomorrow to get their monies.
Certainly, Braden, and we will update the public on every step of that process.
Thank you very much, Bongani Diako from Postbank.